Bam, we're live. I've never seen that. Oh, he's gone. Good morning, everybody. We're messing with Kris Moutinho. This morning. This guy, yeah, Hugo from Portugal. Well, he's not from Portugal. His dad's from Portugal. But this is going to be a good one. We're going to talk about, I think, what do we got going on? It's UFC 269 today. No, is it? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, he's back.
Awesome.
Oh, it's still blurry.
It is.
Yeah.
That's okay. Fuck it.
Bring him into the show.
We'll deal with it. Kris.
Right.
Yeah, let me try to get on my laptop real quick. Hold on.
Okay, low stress.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I'm low budget over here. I told you guys. I'm trying.
You're a good dude.
Can you send the link to my Instagram or whatever? Or email works. I don't care.
Do we have what would you prefer it to? Your email or your Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay. Let me see here.
I'm on it.
You are on it? Okay.
Yep.
I'm sorry messing your show up, bro.
No, that's the way our show works. Hey, that way I like it that you're doing it because usually the comments are like, "Hey, dipshit, you haven't got your technical stuff figured out yet." And now I can be like, this Kris guy.
Yeah, that's my fault, bro. I'm so sorry.
Hey, are you watching the fights today, Kris?
I have a buddy fighting on the card, so I'll probably watch it a little bit.
Who's your buddy?
Randy Costa.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, I trained with him a lot when he was up here. He just moved down a couple years ago to Florida, so
he's got a tough fight.
They're all tough in the UFC, man. There's no easy ones.
Great point.
Kris, go ahead and check your Instagram. I sent you the link there, so it should be there now for you.
Getting on it right now. Hold on, I'm so sorry, bro.
It's seriously, dude. It's so chill. Man. It's fucking 7 a.m. here. We got coffee. We got Kris Moutinho. Son of a Portuguese immigrant. Fucking grinding. Making the American dream come true.
Only half.
Only half. Yeah. He got. Hey, are your parents still together?
No. No, I got my stepdad and my mom.
Do you ever see your dad?
Not too much, no.
It's interesting because my son's 7 and he's a skateboarder. He's everything. He just basically. I don't think my kid will ever go. Oh, device not connected. Oh, that's good.
Oh boy.
Hey, I'm gonna remove him here. Hold on, I'm gonna remove that, and let's see if we can get him on this other one. It's weird. I kind of see him on. It says device not connected, but he is connected. But he's not connected.
I don't.
Oh, holy shit!
There we go. There's my ugly ass face.
There's that handsome dude.
There we go. We did it.
Perfect.
Shit. Let's just dive in and go heavy. So, so my son once a week goes over the hill to Sunnyvale. I'm in California. By the way, Kris, good morning. I'm Sevan, and the dude with the beanie on is what's your name? Matt Souza. He's the producer of the show.
Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you, brother.
My son goes over the hill and to Sunnyvale, which is like 30 minutes from Santa Cruz, and there's a professional skater there, and he takes a professional skateboard lesson from him every day or once a week. And I said to him, hey, my son's never going to be a great skateboarder. And he goes, why do you say that? And I go, because his dad loves him. And the guy starts laughing. And I go, what? And he goes, dude, I have daddy issues, and every pro skater I know has daddy issues. Like you're right. And I just think, oh yeah. So like, because you got something to prove to the world and your dad, right? It's like, fuck off. Like I'm going to show, like everything's like this. I can do it. Like there's some pathology there, right? Some psychology. It's kind of weird. If life wasn't hard, you can't make it to the top of Mount Everest. I don't know. What do you think?
Could be it. Could be something to that. But I don't know, man. I stopped worrying about that a long time ago. I just like to get punched in the face, bro. That's just it is. I don't know what it is or what's the real thing. It's just there's something about getting my face smashed in and smashing other people that just sits right in my brain, man. It's something that we were supposed to do. It's something that we were supposed to be, and I feel like, and you look into anything in on our planet, like any species of anything, and they all know how to do this. They all do this. They all like to hurt each other. They all like to kill each other, and this is what we were meant to do, man. This is why it just sits right for me, you know.
I believe in myself to the highest extent. Close quote. Kris Moutinho. It's weird because on one level I believe in myself to the highest extent, but on the other hand, I'm like, I know my origins or my roots are I was the most insecure person ever. Not even like in a bad way. It was like that's all I was. There was nothing I was confident about.
Yeah, I feel the same way. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of me saying I'm super confident in myself, or some other people saying they're super, nobody's confident in themselves. In the end, like it would be a lie for me to say that I'm not nervous every time I go out there. It would be a lie to me for me to say like I ain't worried about getting embarrassed in front of a million people, 1,000 people, whatever the case may be. You know, of course I'm super nervous and I have all my negativities and all the things that go through my head, but to an extent, man, there's just some things that you have to overlook to in order to do anything great in any field, whether it's business, whether it's anything, you know what I mean? Like, you have to get past these things, and there's I've done this for most of my life. I've done this since I was 19 years old. I'm 29, you know what I mean? So that's half my life right now of me just being in there with guys that are there to kick my ass, even in the gym, man. I'm from Massachusetts, man. We all beat the shit out of each other. We talk shit in the gym. We make each other look bad every day, man. So it's not a place where you can just be like, you need to be coddled, man. I've never been needed to be coddled from the time I was in high school wrestling to the time I'm training to be in the UFC. You know what I mean? I've never had to be coddled, and it's something that's got me very far in life.
There's these two kids in my son's jiu-jitsu class who like and he goes a lot, you know, minimum 3 days a week, usually 6 days a week. And I have two 4-year-olds and a 7-year-old. And there's two kids who like in each of their classes that cries every class. Are those kids the pussies or are those kids the dangerous ones? Because some days I'm like, God damn, those kids cry a lot. And then what pussies? And then one time my 7-year-old son said, hey, you know why those kids cry? And I go, why? He goes, because that means you're trying your hardest. I was like, oh shit. You know, like fucked me all up. Yeah.
I gotta watch out. You don't want me talking shit about some little kids I don't know.
When you were a little kid, were you a crier and you grow up to be a badass, or what happens?
I never really competed when I was little. You know what I mean? Like, I played a little football and stuff. I didn't find this stuff until I was in high school. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of times where you want to feel like that. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting your ass kicked, and it's one of those things, man. Like, I don't know what they do on a daily basis. I don't know what they're gonna become. The way I've always looked at it is, dude, you have to just take it on the chin, regardless. The crying stuff, I don't really get behind it too much, but some kids just don't like to lose, man. It's a true feeling inside where losing really hurts your soul. You know what I mean? I don't know what sports you've played or something, like you never lost and not felt like that, man. So I don't blame them for crying or something, man. There's been plenty of times where I get my ass kicked, man, and I just know, like, this is everything that I've ever wanted to do. You know what I mean? There's been a few times in fights where I went out there and gave everything I had, and it was still too short, man. And that's everything that I've ever wanted. You know what I mean? Everything I was dreaming. I was dreaming to be in the UFC. I was dreaming to be a champion. When you lose, it kind of feels like you're getting knocked down that pole, like that dream's never gonna come. You know what I mean? So I don't know what people are going through, or what they feel, or what their mental aspects in their life are like, or what their family life, or whatever it is. So I don't blame anybody for that. But at a certain extent, man, when you get a little older, and you gotta just gotta take it and keep grinding.
For those of you who don't know, Kris Moutinho, which looks like Kris Moutinho, but Kris Moutinho. Moutinho, right? Like you.
Moutinho. Yeah.
Moutinho. Kris
Yeah.
Moutinho. So it's a really interesting story. So those of us, I don't know if I'm a diehard MMA fan, but I'm a diehard UFC fan. I spend 3 hours every Saturday watching that shit. It's the only TV I watch. I interview a bunch of the fighters. And I don't know, it's a guilty pleasure. I feel like it's almost not right how much I'm into watching other dudes fight. But there's a guy in the UFC, and he is for some reason a superstar. He hasn't fought. I mean, he's fought a lot of guys, and he's climbed his way up to becoming. I guess people might want to talk of him as like the next Conor McGregor. Not only is he great, he has his own style, but he has his own attitude. He's a stoner. He flies in on his own jet, that kind of shit. And in the last minute of one of his fights recently, his partner pulled out, his competitor pulled out, and this guy you're looking at right here with 10 days notice stepped in. It's kind of like the Rocky, what was it? Rocky
It could be Rocky 1, Rocky 2. It doesn't really matter. Either one.
And Kris stepped in to fight this guy, and not Instagram followers don't mean shit. Well, they mean something, but just to give you kind of a relative comparison, this guy had millions of followers, and Kris had 1,100 followers, and so Kris is thrust onto, and he's a seasoned fighter. There's no doubt. It's not like he was just thrown to a shark, but Kris was put on. He wasn't in the UFC, and then all of a sudden, bam! And if I did my research correctly, he's given a 4-fight deal, which made me so happy to hear that they didn't just try to give you one fight. And kudos to your manager for getting that. And all of a sudden, the whole world is introduced to Kris. Kris, maybe this is going to show how little I know about fighting and what an idiot I am, but I think if there's a 6th round, you win that fight.
I would hope to think in my head that it would be like that. Who knows? Maybe I go out there 2 more rounds.
Or was it a 4th round? Or was it a 4th round? Was that a 3? It was a 3-round fight. Sorry,
3 rounds, man.
If there was a 4th round, I say you win that fight.
I would hope to think that, like I'm saying, like I would hope to think that, man. Maybe I go out there and get another round of getting my face punched in. Who knows, man? I don't do speculations or any of that stuff, or what could have happened or what wouldn't happen in that last 30 seconds, or like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people being like, "Oh, you could have landed that." It doesn't matter. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Nothing happened. I lost the fight. I took a beating, but it is what it is, man. That was 10 days. I've gotten a hell of a lot better since then. And that's why we fight again. You know what I mean? That's why there's other fights. You know what I mean? I'm going to go out there and in my next one and try to show the world that I'm one of the best fighters in the world, man. I'm not just a punching bag that walks forward. You know what I mean? I can take a punch. I can give a punch. And, this is what I've dedicated my life to, and why I will be remembered as one of the best to ever do it.
Sorry, I know you said you don't speculate, and if you start getting aggressive, I'll back off. But I your leg kicks were. If you could go back, or when you fight him again, will you just leg kick the fuck out of him? Like it seemed like you would It seemed like, first of all, his hands don't like your face. Every time you hit him in the face, he didn't like it. There's a video on YouTube with just video clips of you hitting him. He didn't take any of your punches so good. And then you kick him. I mean, I'm just thinking, holy shit, if he could go back and just would have kicked him, I think he could have just won that fight.
Yeah, there was a lot of things I could have done differently, man. Like instead of just walking forward and thinking I could just walk through everything, it was like my feints. I usually set up with my feints a lot more. I could have used my wrestling. I was a wrestler before I was ever a striker. You know what I mean? I could have used my wrestling a little bit more. My jiu-jitsu game's pretty good, so I could have brought it to the ground a little bit more. And I was landing the leg kicks though. I landed a good 30 something leg kicks or something like that, whatever, with 18, 20 leg kicks or whatever. And they were all doing damage, man. I could have kept setting up the leg kicks a lot more, but you know what it is, man. In that time frame, man, in the time that I was in there, man, his corner was talking a lot of shit, man. I'm from where I'm from. So like when you talk shit, man, the blood boils, you know what I mean? The blood boils, and then we stop thinking, you know what I mean? There was no thoughts in my head. The only thing we were thinking is, yo, this is going to be a hockey fight. We're going to grab the shirt and we're going to swing. You know what I mean? That's about it. You know what I mean?
Look at, man, people know who you are. How was the ice cream sandwich? That's some like fucking obscure reference. And that's in reference to you were saying that the first thing that you ate after the fight was an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, so there was like a video after the fight. Like we got to the hotel because I had to go to the hospital afterwards. They forced me to go get my brain checked out and everything else. So I didn't get home. We didn't get back to the hotel until like 9 o'clock or something like that. And then like we kind of like we're trying to get ready and we couldn't really go anywhere. So like in the lobby they had some ice cream sandwiches or something like in the fucking. So I just grabbed something real quick, just shove in my mouth. You know what I mean? I'm a fat kid at heart, man. I just
I don't believe that.
terrible.
I don't see any chubby pictures of you. You're a fucking lean, mean fighting machine in your
You can
Instagram.
see it, bro. I can show you, bro. My weekly diet ain't great, but we're tuning it back now, man.
When I was looking back yesterday as I'm digging through just interview after interview, O'Malley did say that 2 months later his knuckles were still sore. And what's interesting is I think he got a 6-month medical suspension and you got a 2-month medical suspension. For those of you who don't follow the UFC, that it's not uncommon, but it is interesting that you only got 60 days and he got 180 days and yet he won the fight. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Well, the Portuguese, man, we got big ass heads and they made out of rock. That's just what it is, bro. We ain't the smartest group of people, but we still fucking come to bring it. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is, bro. The way I look at it, bro, it is what it is, man. I was in my head, man, in my delusion. I was made to do this. You know what I mean? I was made to do this. I was made to fight, and I was made to bring pain and do damage. Regardless if I win or lose, man, I'm gonna put on exciting fights and come out to hurt people, and that's all I've ever wanted to do. You know?
Yeah, my delusion, like Joe Rogan, ain't got shit on me, so I fully. I feel you 100%. How long have you been with Blaze?
So I started dating her in like high school a little bit, and then we broke off for a little bit. So in total of knowing her and being with her and stuff off and on, it's been like over 10 years.
Yeah, I'm married now, and me and my wife had on and off, but I give myself like credit for like the off time too.
Yeah.
Like people are like, how long you been together? I'm like 23 years. My wife was like, but there was a section there. I'm like, quiet.
Yeah.
I'll give you another section. Type up again. Be another section where we weren't together. So she's seen you. So she knew you as a 19-year-old boy is way different than a 29-year-old man.
Yeah. For sure. She's known me actually since I was 17 years old. 17 years old, and it's without her, I wouldn't even be here. You know what I mean? I was a useless human. Like before, I didn't know how to cook for myself, didn't know how to do anything. Literally was like less than a boy. You know what I mean? Until I met her, and she's taught me most of everything in my life, man. Without her, I really don't think I'd be here.
And can you tell me what in relationship to fighting? Because it seems like it's a double-edged sword. So my wife believes in me no matter what I'm doing. Like sometimes she just believes in me. It's so crazy. And yet relationships are hard because especially young, I mean, not anymore. I'm 49, but but when we were together in our 20s, it's like, hey, you were talking to that girl, or I read your text messages. Who's this bitch? And like, and yet you knew her when you were 17 and you've had to go through all that. Right. Is that how yours is too? And like, you're a professional athlete who there's so much on the line and there's nowhere to hide, right? In your sport, there's nowhere to hide. And I just can't imagine dating like the discipline it would require to be the mate of a fighter. Like it's fight camp, but your boyfriend's cheating on you or your girlfriend's cheating, but you just can't say anything. Like it's not time to fight with them, right? Or maybe I shouldn't use that as an example, but you know what I mean? It's not, You can't be like an hour before the fight, honey, I really want to change the sheets. I think we should go with green. Like, huh? Shut the fuck. Like someone get punched in the throat for that saying that, I feel like.
No, there's always gonna be issues and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Because this stuff is less likely that I'm with like cheating or anything like that, because I'm an ugly ass dude and I don't know how to talk to people. So that ain't the biggest problem.
Yeah, that wasn't my problem either.
I'm ugly as hell. So but it's just a lot of time has to be dictated into training, and I give up most of my week doesn't go to, like, I have to still try to figure out how time to hang out and time to do all the other shit. But there's a lot of time that goes into this sport, and it doesn't take any prisoners. You know what I mean? There's times where you know that it's somebody else's thing, and you got to just dictate your time to training. You can't say no. You can't go out and be like, yeah, I'm just going to take this day off and go. No, you have to train like 7 days a week. You know what I mean? Because this ain't a game. So, but in all that, man, she's been the most supportive human being that I could ever find. You know what I mean? She goes through with everything, and she doesn't make this hard for me. If anything, she makes it easier, man. She's the one that's talking now she's talking to all the UFC people. She's talking to my manager for me. She's doing all these things along with having a full-time job and working and doing everything that she does, man. She's the most amazing person in the world, and without her, again, I wouldn't be here going through all the any hard times we've ever had, man. It was all worth it, because without her, I wouldn't be here, man.
How do you get a manager?
I don't know. I'm sure it's like anything else, man. You just like you do all right. Somebody wants to sign you, man. And I'm lucky enough to have one of the best managers in the business, man. I got with Tyson Chartier about right when I turned pro, right like a couple fights into my pro career. I was fighting right after I fought for the CES world title, and then I got with him, and he manages guys like Rob Font and Calvin Cater. He's also their coach and stuff, and he's done nothing but great things for me, man. I'm very blessed to be in this team, and being able to do what I want in the sport, and hopefully do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, Tyson. There you are on our screen, Tyson. We've been bugging Tyson to come on the podcast for, I don't know, since 1979. I think.
He's got to be a little deep by now,
swimming up, and he's great. I mean, we go back and forth. I think we probably have like 100 DMs back and forth, me trying to get him on. What great guys! You just dropped two crazy names, right? Calvin Cater and Rob Font too.
Yep. And he has more guys than just that, man. He's got Will Knight. He's got a lot of guys on the low end, on the, like, not in the UFC yet, that are savages, man. Like Tommy Pags and my boy Mitch Raposo and all these other guys, man, that you don't even know yet that this guy sponsors, that this guy manages, and that are gonna be big, man, super big. And I'm just so happy that New England's becoming a hub for MMA again. You know what I mean? Back when I started, and I started under George Rivera. He was in the UFC for 10 plus years. You know what I mean? There was only a few guys. There was him, and there was Marcus Davis and Joe Lozon and Kenny Florian. Other than that, you didn't really know anybody from Mass. There was not many guys. So it's just cool that we have so many names now. We have so many names, so many young kids around here that can look up to and try to be here, and that are probably better than us. You know what I mean? And I'm just super excited.
When you saw Cater and Holloway fight, I'm assuming you watched that, since that was your boy.
Yeah, no, I watched it for sure.
What was your thoughts on the fight?
It was a scary fight. You know what I mean? But like,
did you know he was that tough?
Yeah,
Alvin. Yeah.
You can see all the dude. There's nobody in Mass that ain't that tough. You know what I mean? We a bunch of dogs up here, bro. I'm telling you. Like you like, I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones. This is the North, bro. This is the North. This is what they were talking about. We all different breed up here, bro. We a different breed. But it's yeah, I knew he was tough, man. I knew he was tough. That was a crazy fight. You know what I mean? That was a crazy fight. Of course, you don't cringe a little bit when you watch it, but there's no time in my life where, if I was in that situation, would ever stop a fight, because the dude's a dog. He's coming back swinging. He's throwing punches still to the end of the time, and he's a monster, bro. He's a monster. So and we all go through those situations. You know what I mean? We all go through these situations. Calvin's got another tough fight coming up, and you're gonna see.
Who's he got?
I think he's got Giga next. Giga
Oh, right.
I can't even say the dude's name, but he's another tough dude, and I think you're gonna see probably gonna see a completely different Calvin that's gonna come out and beat the brakes off this dude. You know what I mean? This is what we do, man. You take those tough fights, you take those ass whoopings, and you just learn, bro. You just learn and get better.
Well, Calvin looked unbeatable until the Holloway fight. I mean, there's no question. Man, he's future champion material. He's gnarly.
Yep.
And Rob Font, holy shit. And you know what's crazy about the Rob Font fight? I mean, I think that was the best Jose Aldo I've seen in 5 years. That was, and he hung with him. I mean, I can't believe how good Jose did. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jose's amazing, but I really thought Font's crazy.
Yeah,
his body's crazy.
No, Font's a monster, bro, and it's
Is
kind of
he huge when you're standing next to him? Like, does he feel like the biggest small man you've ever been next to? I mean, he just looks huge on TV.
He's definitely a big 35er. He's a big dude. I'm a small 35er, so it's not much saying next to me. But he's definitely a big dude. He's a big dude. Calvin's a really big dude at 45 too. So it's crazy to see these guys make the weight and still do it. And Jose, bro, getting to fight Jose it's just that's like fighting a dude that guy is the epitome of like, dude. Doesn't matter what happens in your career, man. You can always improve. Like that guy was looking he was looking like he was dwindling off for a few years, and now he looks better than he ever did, even when he was the champion. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy, man. This sport is the weirdest sport. It's not even a sport. This is what I try to tell everybody. It's like I've boxed. I've done like a little bit of everything, and like there's some of the other ones they feel like sports. This ain't a joke, man. Everybody's changing, bro. The technology, the science behind this stuff's changing, nutrition, all this stuff. And people are just they're going until they're in their 40s, their 50s, bro. Some of these guys, and they're still monsters. Like it's crazy, bro, the sport.
And how about the approach in the ring too? It seems like even knuckleheads like me who aren't fighters, who have no toughness in them at all, I even see stuff changing, like the kicks and the way the elbows are and the amount of spinning that happens and the different way, like some it goes through phases. Sometimes there's a ton of fights that take place on the fence. And then, Connor did that shoulder to Cerrone. So then we started seeing a ton of shoulders, and then like the ground and pound will be big for a few months. And it just seemed like, wow, this thing is just constantly evolving. Like if you leave the game, I'm like, holy shit, how do you come back?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's crazy. The tactics, the styles, they all change almost periodically. Like it's like anything else, like any kind of business. There's quarters. Like that's what it is, bro. We're in like the second quarter of the fucking year, and these motherfuckers are all doing calf kicks. And
right.
then we see like 80 fights with a calf kick, and then somebody learns how to defend it. Smashing everybody's legs open. The whole fight changes, dude. It's the craziest thing, bro. But that's why I love it so much, man. There's no time to chill, man. You always have to be there, and you always have to be ready, or else they're gonna leave you behind.
Are you? I know your next fight isn't until March. What happened to your October fight? I read that you pulled out because you were injured. Was it your toe?
No, so I had a broken toe right after the fight, and that kind of healed up, and I got the fight in October after my suspension was up, and I was ready to go, man. I was like training. I was doing like 5 days, and I felt great, man. I was ready to go. My cardio was good. The weight was going down, and then I was sparring at Lausanne's MMA, and the lamest kick. It was just a little kick. The kid didn't even throw it that hard. It just hit me on my rib the right way, and either blew it up or bruised it really good. And there was like 5 weeks where I couldn't even do really anything, man. I couldn't even crunch. I couldn't breathe. It messed me up. So I couldn't really train. So we had to pull out of that one. And then I got into like some little depression. I don't really know. It was either because I don't know why it happened. I've never really had any mental anxieties or anything like that. So it came out of nowhere, and I didn't really feel like training or anything. So then we had like, there was like a good 2 months where I didn't really do anything. You know what I mean? I didn't really train, didn't really get to it. And then like, I did all the other stuff. I talked to my girlfriend, talked to some people, got some little self-help books, and I got back on the bike. You know what I mean? So now I've been training good the last couple months, hard, super hard. Got back into a full swing of things, and then my manager, I told him that I would be ready by January. I told him, now let's push it a couple months, and then right after that, he found me this fight in March, man, and it was blessing in disguise. Good 3 months of just super hard training. I'm doing 2-3 days every day and just busting my ass, man. I'm gonna be a complete monster when I go into that cage, and I can't wait. I can't wait to show you all.
What are 5-a-days?
I was just training like 5 times a day, man. I would go in the morning. I would go do something at the gym, and then I would go during the day do some boxing, and I would go wrestle, and then I was just going hard, super hard, man, super hard, and it was like, I don't know if that's what contributed to my body just breaking down on me, but when I got hit with the shot to the rib and it popped, it was kind of like all the steam that I was building up just fucking deflated me. You know what I mean? I don't know what the situation was, but it messed with me a little bit.
When you do 5-a-days, how many times do you shower? That can't be good for the environment if you're shaving 5 times a day. You got like maybe you guys don't have a water problem there, but here in California, you can't take 5 showers a day. It's fucking it up.
Not 5 showers a day, bro.
One big one at the end. Just one big one at the end.
One big one at the end, bro.
Yeah, if someone doesn't like it, you stink in midday. So it's just one at the end. Just clean the mess up at the end.
Yeah. That's it.
You can't sleep sweaty, right? Like
No.
I hate sleeping sweaty. Even if, like, sometimes I'll work out really late at night, like at 11:45, and then I'll be so sleepy, but I'm like, I gotta rinse off. I can't sleep sticky.
Yeah, no, definitely not, man. Definitely not. I actually like to sleep fucking freezing. Realistically, bro, but we get real cold up here. I don't know what you guys get over there in California, but
48's like as cold as it gets.
Yeah.
That's freezing for us.
We in that zeros down here, bro. We get the real cold. So
yeah, I like cold sheets though, and I'm a chronic a pillow flipper. Like I could flip the pillow every 10 minutes. I like the colder the better.
Yeah, no, like lately I've just been like popping something before I go to sleep and just pass the fuck out. But
what do you mean? Like what do you mean?
Like an edible. Like
yeah,
right before bed, just so I can go knock out, dude. Really?
Do you only do edibles? Do you smoke anything?
Nah, I don't smoke anything.
Because you don't want that shit going in your lungs because you need your cardio?
No, I just don't like to be high. Really, I'm not a guy who really likes that. I just do it before bed because it zonks me out.
What does that look like so you're doing 5-a-days, you get a fucking hurt rib, and then you go into a funk. It's 2 questions. Like that I'm assuming that's like some story you're telling yourself in your head. Like, oh fuck, I was 100 feet from the mountaintop and now I got to go back to the bottom. Fuck that. I'm not climbing back up again. And then 2, was there anything any specific book or something you read, or was there that made you go, what the fuck am I doing? Get back on your horse.
Yeah, I'm still reading. I started like the David Goggins one. David Goggins one, and I started that. So I started reading that one, and then taught like, I'm not a big, like, I don't have a big like group of people. I have a very small group that I associate with on a daily basis, man. I'm not a very big people person. Like, even this kind of stuff like this, I keep saying this to everybody. I keep saying it to like all these fans and all this stuff is wasted on me, dude. It's wasted on me. I got like friends that post like 3 times a day and do all this other stuff. I'm trying to build this. I'm like, dude, I could go a month and you're not going to see anything on, like, I'm not. You know what I mean?
These fans are wasted on me.
They're wasted, bro. They're wasted. I understand we need this stuff to keep going and build ourselves, but it's completely. There's so many other people that are more worthy of fucking of having people follow them and stuff.
I disagree with that, but go on. I disagree. I watched a shit ton of your interviews, and I watch a ton of fake ass interviewers, and you never play their game. You stay real. And what's crazy is as I was watching a bunch of interviews with O'Malley yesterday, he changes his personality for every interviewer, and he did himself a huge disservice going on with those clowns, Logan and Jake Paul. And that's not to discredit them. I'm stoked for them. I'm happy for their happiness and their success. I wish I had their money, but like they're just not real and authentic people. and you can see it in the games that they play in their interviews. And I just watched in O'Malley, in one interview to them is like making fun of you, and another interview he's giving you respect. And it's just this, dude, you're the same dude in every interview, and you've had been interviewed by some just complete tool bags. So I think you deserve all the credit in the world. You are who you are. You're a fucking rock, dude. You're a fucking, like, you're a grounded motherfucker from what I could tell. So sorry, go on. I just had to stand up for you there. Yeah.
No,
So David Goggins, you don't have a big circle, and I cut you off. Go on.
No, it's all right. So I don't have a big circle. I have people that I really trust and people I truly care about, and I talk to them. You know what I mean? Like, I've never been a guy who needs, like, I'm gonna go to therapy or whatever. Not saying that's bad or anything. I've been thinking about it a lot more lately, but it's just like I trust the people I'm talking to, the people around me, and I trust my family, and I trust my small group of friends, and it's just helped me a lot, man. It's helped me a lot. I've always been the guy that just keeps everything to himself and lets it build and deals with it internally. But like lately, I've needed a lot more of just talking to people. I think I just got a little burnt out. I got a little burnt out of the years of just grinding, and it's just. And another thing was, like, I got to where I wanted to be. You know what I mean? Like, I made it to the UFC, and which is something I've dedicated most of my life to doing, and trying to be like a Hall of Famer and a world champion and all this stuff that I have in my brain. And when I got there, I just, like, like when you watch a movie and you build it up in your head, like, this movie's going to be the best movie in the world, and you get there and it's like it doesn't feel the same. It's not as good as you thought it was going to be. That's kind of the thought in my brain when I got there. Like, I got to the UFC. I fought a crazy fight. Everybody's kissing my ass, like, at first, and I'm like, oh, this is it. This is what it felt like. You know what I mean? Oh, that's crazy. That's cool. All right, now what? And then it was like that was fighting with my head a little bit. You know what I mean? I was dealing with that in my brain, and I was like trying to be like, bro, you're not even there yet. You know what I mean? You just got here. Why are you gonna give up right now? Because if I go through this stuff and I flake on myself and I don't work hard and that'll kill me, man, if I don't give it everything I have right now after giving my whole life and dealing with all the bullshit and dealing with never knowing if I'm going to make it or anything. So that was what I was dealing with. And I'm okay telling the world that I have problems, man. I'm a human being regardless. I'm the same person. Like you said, I'm the same person off and on this camera. Regardless, you can talk to me outside of here. I probably won't say much because I'm a shy person, but I'm the same person off and on. You know what I mean? I don't have to make a fake persona. If you don't like me, you don't like me. If you like me, you like me. That's just the key. That's the key to my life, man. I'm not gonna change for anybody.
Oh, I forget who the quarterback was. I'm not a football fan, but this is like 10 years ago. I saw a quarterback being interviewed on 60 Minutes, and he had won his third Super Bowl. And they said, "Hey, is this the best thing that's happened in your life?" And he said he said going fishing with his dad was better than any Super Bowl he won. And I remember I won a film festival in Park City, Utah one year, and I got the award for best film from Selma Hayek and Forrest Whitaker, the two stars that I looked up to. And after I won, I went outside and I called my mom, and I was crying. She goes, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I just want to come home. Like, this is, I had that. This is like dumb."
Yeah.
It was so much fucking work. And this is what wasn't even, it was empty. It was crazy. And I fucked myself because I expected more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can relate to it. But on the other hand, what a great experience you had to, like, some people will never even get a chance to learn that lesson, right? Because they won't have a goal, they won't pursue it, and they won't realize that when you get it, it's still nothing if you're not fulfilled somewhere else. You don't have someone like Blaze in your life.
No, 100%, man, and that's the key to it, man. That's what I've started to focus on, is just making my outside of this sport life better. Try to be the best person I can be to everybody around me, man. I go off the handle sometimes. I got a little temper, man. I snap on people sometimes, and I'm trying to just be a better person, man. I'm just trying to be a better person every day. I've been more into my with my Lord and getting more in tune with that, and just trying to be an all around better person. But I'm still now. I refound my love for the sport. I'm grinding super hard, and I'm gonna be the next world champion. I'm gonna be at either at 35 or 25, wherever I end up going, man. I'm I'm coming through these guys, and you're gonna see exciting fights every time I get in there.
I want to talk about that, about you becoming a world champion, and I want to talk about specifically pressure. But before I go there, I want to go back to what you said. You're finding the Lord thing. You're. I'm not a religious guy at all, but your Instagram handle still freaks me out. And then why Chris Soulless? And then in the same breath say, okay, so it sounds like you're working on your inner game, your deeper game, connecting more with a higher power. And are you going to have to change that? And then I see 6 posts ago you dressed up as the devil for Halloween. Are you going to have to explain that when you go to the pearly gates? I'm sorry, God, that was fucked up.
Nah, bro. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Who knows, bro? I don't know what happens after this, bro. I don't know what he's gonna take account of. But regardless of it, man, the soulless thing was just
That's
joke.
a beautiful outfit, by the way. You guys look beautiful there. I love the colors. I just love everything about that, by the way. Go on. Sorry.
I appreciate it. It was the soulless thing was because I like anime. I like anime, and I like all the old like Mortal Kombat and stuff. It was we started playing with like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. He's like the soulless.
Okay.
He has no soul, so it was just like stuff off that and shit. And we were playing with made it jokes, and it kind of like people just liked hearing it and shit, and it just sounded cool and shit. But like realistically, I don't give a shit what it says. You know what I mean? My name, you could just call me. I don't use that as a nickname when I go in a fight. I've never used a nickname and shit. Like I'm just Chris, man. I'm the same stupid ass ugly dude from Milford, Massachusetts, bro. You can come here. People are fucking. I hide from people. You know what I mean? I hide in the back. I'm this guy, man. I'm this guy. I'm here, man. And whatever happens after I die, man. If he gets mad about me wearing a freaking stupid costume on Halloween, man, then he gets mad about it, and I'll take whatever comes. Any fucking sin that I've ever done, if it is held against me, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take what's gonna come from me because I'm a man, and that's what we're supposed to do. You know.
When did that happen? I talk about that on my show a lot, and we open the show with saying like, "Hey, do you have daddy issues?" And your response was like, "Hey, I'm past that." And the way I describe it is, there's a point in your life where everything is someone else's fault. Everything, whether your Uncle Buck got to you, whether someone beat you up, whether your mom fucking didn't buy you shoes and you had to wear girls' shoes, it's all someone else's fault. And then one day you have to wake up and be like, "Hey, I have to take full responsibility and accountability for all this. It doesn't matter what anyone else did to me. Now it's mine. I have to stop blaming other people." I'm like, you were just saying it. You're saying I'll take full responsibility and accountability to God if there's a God. And like, how does that happen? Like, when did you realize it's all on you? How old were you, and how did that happen?
It happened around when I like 18, 17, 18 when I started.
Wow, that's young.
Yeah, I've always had great mentors and coaches. You know what I mean? Like my wrestling coach wrestled D1. He was he was like pretty much an All-American. He was a very, very good athlete and shit. And he instilled that into me very, very young because like he made it very clear, like if you're not making weight. There was one time in wrestling my senior year, I was doing pretty good, and I was cutting a lot of weight. I was cutting like 20 pounds to make my weight class. And there was one time it wasn't like the biggest, most important match, and I was like, I didn't feel like cutting weight. So I woke up that morning and I was like over, and I didn't really feel like doing it. So I was like trying to play it off until we got on the bus. And I still didn't, I was like still a pound and a half over, or 2 pounds over, or something like that. And it was like, I wasn't going to tell him. And then I told him like right when we got to the venue, and I'm like, yeah, it's all right. I'll just wrestle next week at States. He was like, no, you're going to go run right now. And if you don't make weight, you're not wrestling next week. You're not wrestling next week. And that was everything that I worked for all year, to just do States and try to be a state champion. You know what I mean? So that's when I grabbed every sweat thing I had, started running up and down the mats, wrestling, grabbed a teammate, wrestling. I ended up making the weight, and he was like, "Oh, you lucky bitch." You know, he was like, that was about it, man. And that was, after that, I was like very, very understood that like I have to hold myself to a very high standard. I have to hold myself above myself and look down and be like, kid, what are you going to be in the future? What do you want to be? And there's still days where I'm very weak. I'm a very weak man. You know what I mean? Like we all have weaknesses, and whether we want to accept that or not, we have at some point we have to look at ourselves and be like, damn, that's something I got to really work on, or else it's gonna tear me down. And it's something that's over the last couple of years has made my life a lot better, and it's also made my life a lot harder, man. I go in. I go in days and I'm like, I really just don't feel like really feel like working on myself. And then I'm lucky to have people that I care about and people that I love, and to yell at me and be like, kid, like get your ass out of bed and you got to do this shit.
What do you like to do to warm up in your gym? Do you have a favorite warm up? Do you warm up, or you're 29? Fuck it. You're like a panther that just hangs out in a tree and
I don't usually
gazelle goes by and you attack.
Yeah, I don't usually warm up. My stupid ass. Like I watch some of these guys and they train like pure for professionals and stuff. Now that I've been in like I've been in like, they warm up. They do all the crazy warm ups and they set up and they get ready. Now that I've been like I started at a boxing gym near mine that just like they're just boxers, and it's called Uppercuts Boxing Club. And so now I go into the gym, and before we even work out we got to do the 20 minutes of jump rope, and we do all this. So I'm getting more into understanding what a warm-up is like and what we're supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be training a little bit. So it means a lot. But like I go to a lot of MMA gyms, man. We're all just like meatheads, bro. We're just meatheads. We just come in, we just work, and we beat the shit out of each other every day, man. You walk out of there with backs hurting, your necks hurting, your head's hurting, but it's what I love, man. I love the fact that I'm a meathead, because if I wasn't, bro, I wouldn't be here right now. You guys wouldn't want to talk to me, and
right,
and I wouldn't be where I am.
I love your authenticity, Chris, and I have some bad news. I think you're going to gain a lot more fans with how authentic you are, because hearing the way you speak has given me more confidence. I'm like, if this guy is working through that and he's saying he, has self-doubt and he's in there smashing people up, which I have no chance in hell of doing, then, I could get over my shit pretty easily,
Yeah, I feel you, but it's like I know some people that would never freaking fight, but are much tougher than I am. You know what I mean? They might never want to do a fight, and that's what I hear all the time. Like, oh, well, you're scared to do that, but you go in there and punch. It's a different thing, bro. It's any person, bro. You give them enough time in the gym, they could fight. You give them any time in the gym. Like my girl will jump out of a plane. She'll do all this shit. She makes me swim with sharks and shit. It's just like, I'm like, you're a psychopath, bro. Because like I'm scared the entire time, dude. I'm gonna shit myself to you, but fucking fighting to me it's the easiest thing we do. Everybody can do it. Everybody can do it. Anybody can get good at it. It just takes time.
I'm not. God, I don't believe him.
I'm telling you, anybody can. Anybody, dude.
My butthole puckers when he says that. Like, I feel like I'm gonna have to go outside and fight someone.
I feel he believes in me. I'm like, I'm ready to work now.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Anybody can. I'm telling you, 100%. I'm not the least athletic person. I have no coordination, and I'm in the UFC. You tell me how that happened.
That's not true. God, you got great head movement.
I'm telling you, yeah.
You do. You didn't show it in your last fight, but you have great head movement. You have great movement. Your body. I watched like 3 of your fights last night. You have great movement. You're a fucking amazing athlete. And in your not that you have a bad record, but your record's not indicative of how good you are either. It's crazy.
Well, with the record, bro, I've fought the best in the world, man. Like half the kids on my record, like 2 of them are in the UFC. Tony Gravely, who I fought for a world title against, man, killing people in the UFC. Yep. I fought Manny Bermudez in my amateur career. And he's beaten some of the top guys at 135. So it is what it is, bro. The records are records, man. That's why I love MMA too. It's not like boxing, bro. You don't have to be 20-0 to be
right.
One of the best fighters. You can lose. Lose. It's when you fight the best, you lose. It happens. Everybody's not always the best.
Look at this guy Dylan Vowell. He's an aspiring fighter. Every show, I think so. Just saying, most of my viewers are probably CrossFitters. Chris, are you familiar with CrossFit?
Yeah, I did it for a little bit.
Okay,
shit's hard, man. The shit's hard.
Yeah. So this guy, look at Chris, is a goddamn savage, instant superstar. I agree. So good. I'm so excited for your next fight. Oh, okay. We're not going to talk about your next fight quite yet. Tell me about pressure. Tell me about pressure. When I first started watching MMA, like 7, 8 years ago, one of the guys I was early introduced to was Colby Covington, and I just couldn't like that was my first introduction to what pressure is. And then obviously the pressure you put on when you fight on people is just nuts. How do you do that? And does anyone ever try to do that back to you? Can you explain to us what pressure is?
Like putting pressure on people.
Yeah.
It's just in my head, bro. It's just a vision. I just picture like you ever play like a video game in their health bar.
Yeah.
That's what I look at. I'm like, this dude don't have it, bro. The only reason I fight is to have that 5 seconds, like literally the 5 seconds after a fight where I know I broke that human being. I broke a human being in front of thousands of people. He's not even a human anymore. That's what I'm picturing. I want to break every person, and that's why I'm willing to go in there and take punches and come forward, and because I know punches don't hurt that bad. Like punches don't hurt that bad. They just feel it's a different kind of pain. That's like you go in there and you take you get a tattoo. That shit cuts and burns and everything, and that thing hurts the whole time. A punch just feels like a thud, dude, and you just keep going. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt that bad. I don't care how hard you hit, man. It doesn't hurt that bad. And so I know when I'm going in and I'm putting the pressure and I'm coming forward, I know that you can't tire me out. You're not going to tire me out. I'm going to keep coming. And eventually you're going to break, or I'm going to, or you're going to knock me out. And those are the only two options. You're going to finish me, or I'm going to keep coming. And I might not win the fight, but I'm going to come, and it's going to be exciting, and everybody's going to get their money's worth. And I'm going to know, you're going to know afterwards that you're not going to ever want to fight me again. You're never going to want to fight me again. Sean doesn't ever want to fight me again. Regardless what he says, he kicked my ass. Kid doesn't want to fight me again. Nobody after they fight me is like, yeah, we'll go do another 5 rounds. We'll go do another. No, you're not going to want to do another 5 rounds
because of the pressure, because of just you're always coming forward. There's nowhere for them to hide.
Forward, always working. I don't get tired. I don't get tired. I've been in multiple fights. I had this understanding after. So getting tired in a fight, man, is because you just don't know how to control your breathing. You watch guys that run marathons and like Ironmans and all this stuff. They can go run for 100 miles. They can run 5-minute miles. Does that mean they're in crazy shape? Of course they're in crazy shape. But if they go into an MMA fight and do 15 minutes, they're gonna be dying. It's because they don't understand how to breathe and how to control. So I listen to all these guys, and you look at all these guys in the UFC, and there's a lot of guys that are ripped up. They look like shit, and they're tired in 10 minutes. You watch a Conor McGregor fight; he's tired in after the first round and a half. He's in better shape than I am, 100%. The guy has fucking an 8-pack, and he's fucking huge. What does that mean, dude? I can go do 15 minutes and not even breathe. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything to me. Like that is a mental delusion. I know what I'm getting into when I go into a fight. I know what I'm doing. I know how to breathe when I'm in a fight. I know what times I can rest, what times I can't rest, when I can control the pace, if I need to slow it down, if I need to speed it up. You know what I mean? So getting tired, this whole shape thing. I did that last fight on 10 days notice. You think I was in shape? I was eating McDonald's a week before the fucking fight. You know what I mean? Like I was getting ready for a fight in August, which was a month and a half later. You know what I mean? So like to tell me that you're in better shape, like you're in shape, I'm in shape. Like you just don't understand how to control this shit. Like he was tired last fight. He was tired after the first round. What are we talking about? You should never get tired. This sport is something I've done for 10 plus years. I've done this since I was 19 years old. You know what I mean? I've been doing this sport for a very long time, and I have this stuff understood to know that if I get into that cage, you're not going to tire me out, and I'm going to keep coming forward regardless of what happens to me. Man, I've dedicated myself to brain damage. I've dedicated myself to death if it comes to that point. I'm willing. Like you hear a lot of guys, they say, "I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die. I'm willing." You're not willing to die because when that situation comes, you don't keep going. You don't keep going. I'm ready to do that if I have to, man. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die in a spectacular way, and that's the way I believe, and that's what I believe, and how I'm willing to go.
So I want to talk about breathing. Can you tell anyone what it is about what you know about breathing? You alluded to the fact of knowing when to push and when to pull back. And then the second part to that is, do you see people like Colby who have that same pressure that you have? Are you guys doing the same thing? Is it all, would he answer the question the same way?
I don't know.
Breathing?
I don't know. I can't explain it. What I feel, how I figured it out. What I can't really explain it, man. And I say this to a lot of guys that I train with and stuff. I don't know what Kobe's doing. Kobe's another monster in himself. You know what I mean? He's another monster in himself. He does this shit, and that motherfucker doesn't get tired at all, man. Kamaru's another one, man. To fight those guys and to see those guys move the way they move at the highest levels and shit. I don't know what they're doing or what they're going through, and I don't really understand what I'm even doing, man. It's just something that I know I can do. Like if I go into there, I know what I'm feeling when I'm in there. I know if I go into a gym and go do round after round after round, I'm the last one on the mat. I'm not even breathing heavy. You know what I mean? And then there's days where, but if you tell me to go do 100 burpees or do this fucking any of the CrossFit shit, I'm gonna be dying on the floor. So I know it. There's something about what I'm doing, the sport I'm doing, and the amount of time I've done the sport to know that when I'm in there, I know how to maneuver within that sport. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain it. I can't give you the answers that I think you want to hear. I don't really know, but I know that I have this thing that dialed in.
So it's something that at bare minimum we can understand it is it's something that you're hyper conscious of.
Yeah.
Like I'm like super duper aware of my nose because it's so fucking heavy and pulling me forward at all times. You are super duper aware of your breathing. When you're in a fight, there's you, your opponent, and your breath. There's three of you in there.
Yep.
You're aware of it.
I'm aware that what I have to do when I'm in the cage so that I'm never tired again. Like I've been like I remember when I started in MMA and all this shit, and like you do one punch and then your arms are heavy and you can't move and you're like fucking trying to maneuver through the next 14 minutes without your arms at this point. And I was like, I got to a point where I've been all over the world, all over the country, trained at some big gyms and stuff, and I like go into these places. Like it happened a lot. It happened the first time I went to Albuquerque. So I went to Albuquerque one time. And I went in there, and everybody's telling me, "Oh, the altitude. Oh, the altitude's you're gonna be dying." And I went in there, and I'm like rolling with people, and I'm like, "Why am I not tired? Like I'm like supposed to be tired right now. I'm supposed to be like it's supposed to feel something else that I haven't felt." And then after I came home, and I was like, "Okay, cool. Okay, maybe there's something to this." And then I started training, and I started trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And I'm realizing I'm watching all my training partners got their hands on their knees or something, like they're all fucking exhausted, and I'm like, I'm still moving. I'm like, all right, man, there's something to this, bro. You gotta figure it out in your head. And it's just over the last few years, man. It's just like fight after fight. It just keeps getting easier and easier.
What, do you ever listen to audiobooks?
No, I'm starting to get. I want to get into like. I'm not the best reader and all that stuff, so I wanted to get into. I started getting into reading a little bit now, and maybe once I figure it out, man, I want to try to build my knowledge as much as I possibly can. The first step is I need to start like doing all the things I hate first before I start getting into that. Doing all the things I hate first.
You're a tortured soul by always making yourself better. It's
a great attitude.
Bro. I'm trying right now. I'm trying.
It's this constant theme. Dylan Val, you have to have endurance to continually throw because it's part of your defense. If you're too tired to breathe, let alone throw, then you'll get overwhelmed with punches and subsequently get KO'd. From a fellow fighter.
True.
Dylan, you can any comment you put, I'll put up there. You the man, buddy. So you don't normally watch the fights, Kris? Like you wouldn't know on Saturdays? No,
because
none of you guys do. None of the fighters watch the fights. What the fuck?
Too focused on their own fights themselves.
No, it becomes like I just watch a lot of trash TV, man. I watch trash TV and like reality shows and shit. Like I used to watch the fights. I used to really be really big into them, and then it's like any other sports. I don't watch sports. I don't watch football. I don't watch basketball. I don't really watch fights, man. There's like the only time I really watch fights is when it's somebody I give a shit about. You know what I mean? If it's somebody I give a shit about, then I'll watch the fight. I'll probably watch Randy's fight. I watched Rob's fight. You know what I mean? Like those are the fights I care about because I have a personal interest. There's somebody I've met them before. I know them. I like care what they're doing. But fighting to me, it's not like I'd rather do it. Obviously, I'd rather do it than watch it. You know.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't really realistically, I don't really care if like I'm not the kind of guy that sits on like I'm sitting like I watch it's jaded me. The sport has jaded me a lot because I get like a lot now, especially now. Like I get a lot of DMs from random ass people that are like being like, "Oh, what do you think about this person? And what do you think about what's happening with this one? Or that I knocked that dude out." Or I'm like, dude, like this person, it's not my position to choose or who's going to win or what's going to win because that's why we fight. That's why they fight. They're here dictating. And like I see a lot of fighters do this to other fighters, you know what I mean? Which is nothing but disrespect because we've all given most of our life to this. And we give up all of our time for this. This is something I truly love and something I've given my entire life to do. And I see fighters discredit me or discredit these people or discredit this guy who's doing the same shit. He's been dictating most of his life to trying to be a world champion. And whether he makes it or not, it's not your fucking place. It's not any of these guys' place to say anything about it. Man, this guy's does the same shit you do every day. Every day he goes to the gym, he trains, he gets his ass kicked. He's taking time away from his family. He's taking time away from his fucking brain that if he has kids and shit that he's not going to even fucking remember them in fucking 10 years for all you know. So why the fuck are you discrediting everything that he's done for most of his life? And that's the shit that's jaded me in the sport. I see all these fighters talking shit and doing all this shit. I tried to be Conor McGregor back in the day. Who fucking hasn't? You know what I mean? I wanted to talk a little shit and be the shit. It's not me. It's not who I am, man. I found out this is why again, like why I truly believe in God. Because every time that my fucking karma and I've tried to build these be like one of these assholes who talk shit about all these guys and do all this shit, it's bit me in the ass. Time and time again, man. I've done all this shit. I've gone through every bad choice that I've ever made has backfired 110% tenfold, man. There was times where I was doing stupid ass shit, being a bad fucking person, and I almost didn't make it to this point. I changed my life, got a new team, got rid of all the drama in my life. Within a year, I'm in the UFC. You know what I mean? There's just things in here that I know for a fact, 100%, that have affected my life that I know is because all that shit is horrible, you know?
How long has Tyson been your manager?
Think since 2017, I think. It was when I fought for right after I fought for my first chance at a world title. So I think it was like 2017, 2018, something like that.
Do you go into the gym every day, even if it's your day off?
I try to do something. I have a little setup at my house, so if I'm not at the gym, I'm usually doing something at my house. I got like a stationary bike, and I got some weights and like a reflex bag. So if I'm not in the gym, I'm doing something, regardless whether it's shadow boxing or something.
What bike do you have?
It's just a shitty one. I got online. I ain't again low budget, bro. We ain't buying no Pelotons or anything like that over here.
We need
Does it
assault
have the
bike,
hand?
dude.
Is it an assault bike? Does it have the handles?
No, it's just a regular. It's sort of like a Peloton, just a cheaper version. You know what I mean?
Right. What did you do with your money? You won a fight, the bonus you won. What do you do with that?
I haven't really done anything with it yet, man. I've just been trying to wait, freaking pay taxes on this shit, and then we'll
Oh, right.
we'll worry.
Smart man.
I've never had money, bro. I'm just a normal dude. I'm just a normal dude from a normal place, and never had money. Don't know what to do with money. Never was equipped for any kind of excess. So I don't really know what to do with it. I got good people in my life. I'm gonna have that let them talk to them and figure out where to go with this shit.
I saw that company. It's one of the vaccine makers, Moderna.
Yep.
I just saw an article that a year ago their stock was $19 and now it's $329. So that's like 5, 15, 7. It's gone up 17 times. So that would have been like, let's just round that 75 up to 100,000. That would be like, it would be 1.7 million now.
Oh, geez, Christ.
I know, crazy, right? I know, that's how I feel too. Sorry, I don't mean to make you feel bad, but I feel horrible that I didn't invest in it. Even though I think those guys are jackasses, I would have loved to have made some money off them.
No, for sure. But I don't know anything about. I've never like done in the stocks. I got a lot of friends in the stock market, and they're making money left and right. It just scares the shit out of me, bro. I don't. I'm like, you should flex your star power now and like try to meet some people who are like just like Elon. Yeah.
Elon, what's up, buddy? Can you help me with my investment? I said, can you like, he likes pet projects. You just need to do like that. Can I be your pet project?
Yeah. No, I ain't. I don't know. I don't know if I can go that high up, bro.
You can.
Absolutely.
Dude, I'm telling you, you're already like, what you've done is crazy. Okay, I know you don't know everyone who's on the fight card, but I got to ask you about this guy, this weirdo who's on the fight card. He's in the early. This fight card is crazy, by the way. It's nuts. So this kid Ryan Hall, he's a featherweight. Are you familiar with him? He's in the early prelims.
Ryan Hall, the jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
I know Ryan Hall.
He's fighting Derek Miner, who is coached by James Krause. What are people just freaked out to go against Ryan Hall because he's gonna fucking end their career? He's gonna put him in that leg lock or whatever that thing he does and jack their knee up.
Yeah, man. If he gets it, bro, it's not much you can do about it unless you really know unless you really know leg locks. You know what I mean? He's one of the pioneers of leg locks, bro. The 50-50 guard and all that other crazy stuff, man. If he gets you in those positions, man, there's not many guys on this planet that really know more than he does. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's a tough fight for anybody, bro, because it's one mistake and your ankle's gone, your knee's gone, and now you're on a 6-month bed. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's a tough fight. He was actually on the card I was on the last card I was on. He fought a couple fights before me. So yeah, he's a tough dude. He's a little get a little wild up there, jumping the way he goes for him, but he's a beast.
Yeah, and then, but because it's interesting, you said I didn't realize he was on your card, but that was the card he got knocked out, right? And he got really exposed as a one-trick pony.
Yeah, the guy he fought was really fucking good, though.
That's true.
Taporia, who's kid's undefeated and he's a monster, bro. So it's kind of like, and I think he's a black belt as well. So he probably knows how to defend him, and his hands are just a little bit better. But man, I'm not here to take away from anybody. Ryan Hall's a monster, and he's. Good luck to him, and hopefully he can take it home. And good luck to the other guy too. I don't really know who the other guy is.
How about this freaking match on the prelim card? Pedro Munoz against Dominic Cruz. How the fuck is that on the prelim card? First of all, does that mean it's not is it not disrespectful, but when I think of the prelim, I think of it as like the fighters that aren't necessarily as big name as the people who are in the main card, because the main card is how they try to make money, right? Or am I not thinking about it right?
No, I think so he's on like the premier spot on the undercard. So I think like he's like he gets all the main card promotion and the undercard promotion. So it's probably a pretty good spot, and he's gonna get paid the same regardless of where he goes, if he was on the first fight on the main card or this spot. So he's going to get.
Who are you referencing? Dominic Cruz?
Yeah, Dominic Cruz.
Okay.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Whatever they were going to get paid, if they were on the main card or this, they're going to get paid the same. So it doesn't really change that.
Okay.
But they're getting both the main card promotion and the undercard promotion. So it's usually like you see guys like Uriah Faber's been there before and other stuff when they could have easily been on the main card, but you get on the undercard, and it's usually like it's a free fight, so more people will watch it. But still, either way, like he's been world champion. He should have been on the main card. That fight should have been either the first fight or should have been on the main card at some point. But when somebody's making a lot of money, bro, making you a lot of money, like Sean, like of course he's gonna be on the main card, bro. The guy makes the UFC so much fucking money, so it is just what it is.
I mean, and there's other guys too. Look at Tai Tuivasa's on the prelim, Dan Ige, Josh Emmett. I mean, it's nuts. Jordan Wright. I mean, it's just the prelim is nuts. Either
Yeah.
that or it's just I'm just exposing that I'm actually becoming a fan and liking all the fighters. But those seem like big names to me.
Yeah, no, there's this card is one of the best cards I've seen in a while, man. Tai Tuivasa is always really exciting. That Augusto Saki guy is a really good fighter too. He fought one of my teammates, Jorgen, and he's a tough dude. So there's a lot of great fights, man. But that's when you see cards like this, it just makes people want to buy them more. You know what I mean? Like you see a lot of guys, and it's like sometimes the undercard is more exciting than the main card. You know.
And some like some of these guys are just waiting to be breakout superstars, like Josh Emmett. He's a couple wins away from like
being a superstar for sure.
Yeah,
Ige's a motherfucker too.
Who is
Ige?
Oh yeah, savage. And then you go to the main card. Can we talk about Sean and I don't know what this guy's name is, Raulian?
William Paiva.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, like again, I don't care. I don't really know who's gonna win or what that deal is, but that's a great fight, man. Rulian actually fought his teammate his last fight. He fought Kyler Sevan. I don't really know the guy's last name. I know his name's Kyler, but who was ranked when this kid fought him? This kid used to be a 25er, and he's a beast, man. So I think people are just like expecting Sean to just walk out there and knock him out, and it's kind of like. I don't really see it that way, man. I see it. That kid's actually a really tough dude. He's a black belt. He's got good hands. He's a tough dude, man. So it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a really good fight. I'm excited. I'm excited to find out the next day who wins. You know what I mean?
What belt are you, Chris?
I'm a purple belt.
And do you still do gi, or are you all no gi?
All no gi. Like I've always been no gi. We do like little rash guards things. That's why I don't really say it. Like regardless, if I put on a gi, I'd be a white belt. You know what I mean? I've never done gi. My first coach, George, only did no gi. He was a black belt under Tim Burrell. So I understand that. My coach now, Tommy Teixeira, is a black belt under Tim Burrell, who's a big name out here in New England. He got his black belt under I think it was Carlos Machado. So yeah, man, I know I've never been the guy who really cared about belts or anything. As long as I can roll with these guys, that's all that I give a shit about. You know what I mean? If I can roll with the black belt, I in my head I'm a black belt, you know.
Should I pull my kid? Should I start? So my kid does no-gi. My kid does no-gi once a week. And in all the tournaments, I make him do no-gi. He fucking doesn't want to, you know. He just wants to either do no-gi or gi. He doesn't want to do both, but I make him do both. But is that where we're going? And we had Nick Rodriguez on the show, and he only does no-gi. Do you know who that is, Nick Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the way to go? Is that some parenting advice you give me? Hey, just take the gi off.
It depends on what you were. No, I'm not gonna say that.
Oh, Chris, come on, just say it. I know you're a nice guy. You don't want to hurt no one's feelings. Just
depends
say
on what
it.
you want to do. What he wants to end up doing with it. Like
He wants to protect his girlfriend in the back alley. He wants to make out with his girlfriend in a dark alley. And if someone fucking comes along, he punches them out.
That's no gi. Like regardless, bro. Like realistically, like. If we're talking about a realistic approach, I would do no gi. For a fight aspect, that's what we do no gi. You know what I mean? Like your clothes, like a gi collar and a t-shirt aren't the same. Like you can pull a gi collar all day and it's never gonna rip. You pull a t-shirt, it's gonna stretch. You know what I mean? So realistically, yeah, the chokes and stuff for no gi are a little bit more realistic. But dude, it's good to be able to have those goals and try to get to a black belt, man. It isn't that's especially like a lot of people like I used to go to like teach at a lot of schools. Like every school that I've been to, I taught most of the classes and I've been a part of. I taught most of the classes and do all that stuff. Like a lot of people that come in, man, can't stay with it because there's no incentive behind it. You know what I mean? There's like you need to have something. It's the same thing like karate. They get belted every time and stuff. It means a lot more when you know that you're working towards something and it makes people actually want to stay into it. When you don't have that goal, if you don't have that mindset where you know, like my only thing in my head was I'm going to be fighting. So I don't care about a belt. You know what I mean? But if you don't have that, like, and I don't tell anybody to fight. You know what I mean? If I'm going to push somebody, I'm going to push them away from this because there's not a lot of money in it, and there's a lot of bullshit that you have to put up with to get to anywhere where you could make any money.
I don't know how you guys survive. I don't know how the fuck you guys survive.
Incredible.
The money you won from your last fight, not including your bonus, can't even pay for your gas money.
Yeah, realistically, bro.
It's $5.50 a gallon.
It's terrible, bro. It's terrible. But this sport is hold on one second. I gotta grab a charger real quick.
And I'm not hating that. I'm not hating on the UFC either when I say that. I'm just saying it's just it is what it is. I'm not like, hey, fighters should get paid more or less. Like, fuck, I don't know the economics behind it.
It's a hard way to make a living.
Yeah, it's like.
Sorry, hold on one second, bro.
Yeah, you do you.
This thing's
Get out, I will bring it to you.
Hey, Blaze, what's up, girl?
Hi.
Life good?
Blaze, hold on a second.
Do you ever just stand against the wall and just take your t-shirt off and just let Blaze just unload on your stomach for an ab workout? Just be like, go, baby, go.
She's about to unload on me right now.
I'll let you go in 5 minutes. I want to ask you a couple more questions. I'll let you go. You be great.
I got you, bro. Hold on. I just tried to get this charger real quick. I'm sorry.
You wouldn't be the first guest whose phone died and the interview ended, so don't worry.
I don't want to be that guy, though. Hold on a second. All right, we're good.
Let's talk about going down to 125. That's what Cody's doing, right? This weekend. He's a 135er. He's already fucking a lean 135, and he's going down to flyweight, which is 125. What would it take for you to do that? Is that just horrible? I mean, 10 pounds is so much.
I started at a 25er. You know what I mean? I started at a 25er. And I'm not, again, like I said, I'm not a very big 35er. So I very well could do it. I think I probably could make 25. I just would need somebody who really knows how to do it, a good dietitian, somebody who knows how to tell me what to eat, when to eat. I'm not the most disciplined when it comes to my diet. Like I've said, I'm starting to get an understanding and stay on it more. But I like, again, like I said, I'm a fat kid at heart. You know what I mean? I like fucking cake and cookies and all that other stuff. So I just need somebody who tells me what to eat, when to eat it, how to eat it, what to eat at what time. And I think I could do it pretty easily. And I think that's probably where I probably should be at 25. But again, I've always felt good at 35. I like the fact that I don't have to cut a ton of weight. I get to actually focus on enjoying training and not just dieting and feeling like shit all the time. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see where it goes. And I'm just excited for the future in the UFC, you know.
It's two tough dudes, man. I don't want to say anything bad about Cody, but well, I guess maybe this is positive, but I was impressed with his fight with Rob Font because Rob is so fucking tough, right? Like I as much as I like Cody, I thought Rob was gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah.
And man, Cody hung in there. And this other guy, Kai, is tough as shit too. This is going to be a good one. It's going to be a war, don't you think?
Yeah, no, for sure. Kai is a monster, and Cody's a former champion. And he's always there to give. He's always dangerous. You know, he's got crazy power in his hands, and he's always super dangerous. So it's all going to be depending on. I think this fight's going to come down to like how well he's going to like be able to perform at 25. Like with his body being depleted and everything else. So hopefully it all comes back and he's the same dude that he was when he was at 35.
Hey, wouldn't it be cool if the UFC gave all of their fighters on their card a promo code so they could watch all the pay-per-views for free?
They should. I feel like, oh my God, the amount of money they make and shit. Get me fired right now. I'm done. I'm done saying it.
Have you met Dana?
Not like formally, you know what I mean? I met him on the night, like they do like a little like before fight meeting, you know what I mean, where he gives us a little pep talk and stuff. That was basically it, you know what I mean? I didn't really meet the guy, I didn't sit down with him or anything like that. He's busy dude, runs a whole company and
Busy dude.
all that stuff, super busy. So I would that's enough for me, man. I don't really need to. Again, I don't really need to talk to nobody, man. I'll fly under the radar and get to walk into a cage and punch people, you know.
So you're not a hugger?
Depends. I don't know.
Like you walk in the gym and let's say you walk in the gym and Tyson's there. Will you give him a hug?
Yeah, like I don't give it like regardless if I know you, I'm not I get a little it takes a little while for me to get comfortable with people, but like once I'm comfortable with people, I don't really care at that point. But it's just like what I say.
Maybe all fighters are huggers because you guys are like half naked rolling around anyway.
Yeah, you can't be you can't be weird about that kind of shit because then people are gonna start freaking really wondering about you. You know what I mean? You can't be weird about that kind of stuff.
I get my point is that when you do meet Dana, you should force him to hug you because he's a big dude, and like that way you should just go up and just like hug, like the way you'd hug Santa if you were a little kid. Seriously, just try to get your arms around him and hug him, bury your head in his armpit.
No, I'm all set. I'm good.
Everyone needs a hug. You got to do it.
I'm sure he has somebody else hug him, bro. He's all set.
He probably has security. How about that dude who's in all the fights? That guy who looks like he should be in a horror movie. The tall white dude. He's bald. He's like always the dude. Like if two dudes are like Cody and O'Malley, like in the press conference, started getting at it, and that dude shows up. You know which guy I'm talking about? He's a tall, skinny. Can you pull up a UFC security guard, Souza? You know who I'm talking about, Chris. He's in every shot. He walks the guys out. He's always with Dana. He's always at the press conferences.
I don't know. I obviously don't pay attention as much as you.
He should be in fucking horror movies. He's so good. All right, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Thank you for I know I've been bugging you in your DMs for a little while. For those of you who wonder how this shit comes together, literally last night, I think I was on the assault bike, or I don't remember where I was. Maybe I was driving my kids to something, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm bugging Chris. And I just start DMing him. I'm like, yo, let's do a podcast tomorrow morning. And I couldn't believe it, right? Because I bugged him a bunch of times to do a podcast, and he writes back, okay. I go 7 a.m. He goes, sure. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm pretty easy about it, bro. I don't really I'm not doing much normally, so.
Yeah, you're a good dude. All right, man. Thank you so much. We'll stay in touch. I'm really looking forward to your fight on March 12th, 2022. Yeah, man, you're a good dude. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.